Here's some of the things that we begin to see in the eyes of children with complex trauma, and that can go with them even into adulthood. And so you can check if some of these are true of you. Number one is the child has trouble making or maintaining eye contact. So as soon as they see somebody, they look away. They do not want to make eye contact. And there's two possible reasons. Number one, they're afraid to look into your eyes because that's looking into your soul, into your central nervous system. And they're afraid, based on their history, that what they're going to find there is rejection, disinterest, anger, and they'll get hurt again. So don't look into people's eyes. Or they're afraid that you're going to look into their eyes and see the state of their soul and how troubled it is, and that you then might go to pity, try to rescue them, see them as inferior. And so don't look into people's eyes. Avoid eye contact. The second thing that can happen for so many people with trauma is that they begin to get this just very distant, unavailable look in their eyes. So they're looking at you, you're looking at them, but it's like they're not there. They're looking past you. They're not even seeing you. They're just something in their eyes that doesn't seem to even focus on what it's looking at. That's kind of connected to the next one is they have this catatonic look. And so it's almost like they're just zoned out. They're there, they're staring at stuff, but they're not seeing anything. Their eyes are blurred, confused. It's just that blank stare. That can happen for people with complex trauma. Then you can go to people who, and some of you may have experienced this, you meet somebody and they look you in the eye and they study you constantly, but it's almost creepy. They're not studying you and making eye contact in order to connect. They're making eye contact to study you constantly to make sure you're safe. And so it just almost feels predatory. They just won't take their eyes off you. They just stare almost aggressively, studying your every little movement, every little change in your eyes, because they are hyper vigilant, looking for any sign of danger in you. One thing that researchers have found is that children who have constricted their eyes, clench and withdrawal since childhood, often when they get to adult life, what they find is that their complexion is different a little bit from others. Their face, around their eyes is more sallow than it would be for a child who didn't have that clench withdrawal growing up. Now, let me add another piece to this. What we have found is that the eyes of the adult who's gone through trauma often reveal how safe they feel, how connected they feel. So the two vital things, safety and connection, now if they're not feeling it, it shows in their eyes. You can look at somebody and quickly tell whether they feel safe or whether they feel connected. So again, most of you will have experienced this in watching others, and this is just trying to put words to it. We have looked in the eyes of many people and you just see fear there. And you go, whoa, they're not regulated at all. Or you look into their eyes and you just see very guarded eyes. They're distrustful eyes. Well, that's somebody whose nervous system isn't regulated. Or you look into their eyes and you see just very angry eyes, not a regulated person. Or you see somebody whose eyes are just darting all the time, back and forth, looking around, not regulated. The hypervigilant eyes where they're just studying everything quickly and checking, scoping everything out constantly. Or the hypnotic, catatonic eyes where they're engaged looking at you and all of a sudden they're just that blank stare that's happening. Another thing that you can see is all of a sudden they're squinting. There's that clenching of the muscles around the eyes. That's a dysregulated state. That's a stress state. For some people, their eyes, their eyelids get higher, and so you see more of the whites of their eyes all of a sudden. So that is a sign of the eye is trying to let more light in so it can see danger more clearly. It's a sign of stress. Others go to almost the bug eyes. They're just very weird, but their eyes just aren't normal. They're bugging out. That's high stress. Then you get the very intimidating eyes. So it's anger, but it's more than anger. There's an aggression there that is designed to create fear in others. Then you get the predatory eyes where they're studying you, but it's not a safe studying of you. And then for some people, as stress goes up, they start to get little eye tics. They blink more, their eyes dart around a bit more, they look off to the one direction more. All of those little eye tics begin to happen, and that's, again, signs that they're dysregulated in their nervous system.